Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
You know, when you think about the U.S. government's biggest shopping catalog, you probably picture paper clips, office chairs, maybe some IT services, right? Well, what if I told you that hidden deep inside that catalog is a secret? A way for federal agencies to build actual walls. It's a system with a ton of power, but it's also surrounded by some really strict rules.
So how in the world is that even possible? How can a system that's designed for buying everyday products be used for construction? It almost sounds like a loophole, doesn't it? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this little-known corner of the GSA. We're going to look at the master contract that makes it happen, the specific tools agencies can use, and, most importantly, the critical rules they have to follow to stay out of trouble.
The secret really lies in something called the Multiple Award Schedule, or MAS for short. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like the government's own private Amazon, a massive, pre-approved superstore where buying stuff is incredibly fast because all the vendors and products have already been vetted.
Now, the real magic of the MAS is that phrase, pre-negotiated pricing. GSA has already done all the heavy lifting to make sure the prices are fair and reasonable. And why does that matter? It means government buyers can often just skip the super long, complicated, and time-consuming bidding process and go straight to the catalog to get what they need and get it fast.
But, a catalog this huge needs a serious filing system. The MAS is organized brilliantly. It starts with these huge buckets like facilities. Then it breaks those down into subcategories, and finally, it gets all the way down to these super specific line items called special item numbers or SINs. And it's deep inside these SINs that we find the permission slip for minor construction.
All right, so now that we get the basic structure, let's get to the heart of it. What are the specific tools that allow for this kind of work? Now, these aren't just blanket approvals for construction. They are really targeted and limited tools designed for very specific situations. And here they are. You've got a SIN for installing things you also bought on the GSA schedule, like, say, running wires for new office furniture you just ordered. There's even a dedicated SIN for roofing. But the real game changer is Ancillary, which stands for Ancillary, Repair, and Alterations. See the pattern here? The work is always tied to an existing product or an existing building.
Now here's the most important thing to get about Ancillary. The name itself tells you everything you need to know about its limits. The work has to be ancillary, which means it has to be a smaller, supporting part of a bigger purchase. It's got to be necessary and incidental to the main thing you're buying. You can't just order up a wall by itself.
And that brings us to the single most important number in this entire project, $250,000. This number isn't the total value of your project. Nope, it's something much, much more specific, and it really acts as a firm guardrail.
This is what's known as the Simplified Acquisition Threshold, or SAT. For any project using that ANCR SIN, the actual construction part of the job cannot, I repeat, cannot exceed this number. It's a hard ceiling, and it's designed to keep these projects small. So think of it this way. This isn't for building a new wing on a federal building. It's for cutting a hole in the wall to run some cables for a new security system.
So why does this whole system even exist? I mean, why go to all the trouble of tucking these special rules into the GSA schedule? Well, the payoff for federal agencies is actually huge, and it all comes down to solving everyday problems without getting buried under a mountain of paperwork.
First, speed. If you have an urgent minor repair, this is way, way faster than launching a full traditional construction bid. Second, compliance is baked right in. GSA has already done the vetting. And third, it's a one-stop shop. An agency can buy, let's say, a new security system and the service to install it from one vendor, all on one contract. It's just so much more efficient.
Okay, so we've seen the power and the flexibility of this tool. But just as important, maybe even more important, is understanding the big red line. The things you are absolutely positively not allowed to do. Getting this wrong can lead to some serious, serious trouble.
And here it is, plain and simple. The GSA Multiple Award Schedule is fundamentally designed for commercial items and services. It is not, and it was never meant to be, a workaround for major construction projects. This is the #1 rule to remember for sure. So, let's break it down. You can do minor repairs, but you cannot build a new building. You can do work that's incidental to a product you're buying, but you can't just order a standalone demolition project. And that construction work has to stay under that $250,000 threshold. This isn't a gray area, folks. It's a bright, clear line. At the end of the day, the GSA has created a fantastic shortcut. It really empowers federal agencies to be nimble and efficient for those small, necessary projects. But it is not a backdoor for large-scale construction.
And that leaves us with a really critical question. As agencies try to move faster and faster, are they using this tool as the brilliant shortcut it was designed to be, or are they maybe getting a little too close to that big red line? That's something for everyone in the federal space to think about.
A special thank you to MarketUS.com for furnishing us this information. You can reach them at MarketUS.com or call them at 954-636-3232. Before we go, this deep dive was created by the MarketUS.com team. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It's right below the subscribe link.